The lighting's crazy here. It's fine, right?
Okay, so we are live finally. So Facebook has changed some things and we can't go live the normal way with a guest, but happy Money Monday, everyone. I am financial sharktress Galit Sadiq. We have Rebecca Volinsky here, and she is my special guest tonight. And we're going to be talking about not saying sorry. And what I really felt when I, thought about this topic was I'm tired of apologizing for who I am as a person. I'm tired of apologizing for being awesome, being great, being exactly what I want to be. And once I realized that I didn't want to apologize anymore for those things, that's when I really started to feel successful and feel like I was getting somewhere at life. It's where I really took ownership of what I wanted. So I know that Rebecca feels really strongly about this topic. So I want to let her kind of introduce herself and also get right in. It's something that we've talked about for a while. So Rebecca, please take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, so thanks so much for having me here today. I was really excited about the topic. Also, so I'm a transformational coach, and basically what I do is I help people create fulfillment in their lives in all areas. So in their sex, and their creativity, and their money, and their careers. And what I find both in my life experience and in working with other people is that all these areas of our lives are so dynamically connected. And in terms of apologizing or not saying you're sorry, it's so funny. I feel kind of weird about talking about my mom on Facebook, but I've been doing this new thing recently where I've just decided that my essence loves to dance. I feel so free when I dance. And I don't like the idea. A part of what really motivates me in life is I want to feel like I'm creating my own experience. I'm not living by someone else's rules. I get this one life and I get to live however I want. And so part of my work with other people is really helping them shed stories or fears or limiting beliefs around what anything should look like, so that essentially your slate is clean and you get to create whatever you want, which is possible for every human being on earth. And I just want everyone to know that. Shazam!
Yes.
But a thing that I love dancing, and so I think a number of years ago I started to dance, and I never had any desire to professionalize it. It was just my body really likes dance. And more recently, I've decided to just dance everywhere, and it's becoming so much a part of my normal experience that I'll leave my house, scream at the top of my lungs to Michael Jackson, dance down the street. I'll dance in the cafe. I get people in the cafe to start dancing with me. And it was interesting because I started posting Facebook Lives more because because I wanted to share this thing that's really special to me. And it feels good to kind of have people with you while you're doing it, particularly because a lot of people look at you like you're crazy.
Of course.
But then a lot of people look at you really curiously. But anyways, my mom sent me an email today that was basically people like it really quiet in the subways. Basically the tone was you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? It made me think about even how as I step out more, there's people around me can be like, well, maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe you should apologize. And but what I find is like, the more clear I am in my own desire and how I want to live, and the less influenced I am by what other people think and feel and believe, and what my kindergarten teacher said, the more I'm so clear that like whatever their reaction is has nothing to do with me, and I have nothing to apologize for. Because when you're living in your authenticity, like you can't, when you're on and you're off, you know what I mean? And like a lot of times apologizing, what it does is it like takes from the bite of the moment, because the moment can be really scary. It's really scary to say like, I want to charge you this much, or I really want to go here, or actually when we're having sex, this feels really good. You know what I mean? So saying sorry is oftentimes a strategy to take away from how frightening it is to claim what we really want.
Yes. Oh, that is huge. That is so powerful.
Yeah. So, but I feel like the underlying thing is like, what do you really want? And the thing that comes up as like something to the side of that is like, what you really want in the moment could be to express your truth. It could be to get a raise. It could be all of these different like manifestations. So the root is really like, what do you want? Which a lot of people have a really hard time coming to terms with themselves, because there's, feelings of like, how dare you, or, and that all comes back to like what other people think should be happening, and living in like projections of that. But really like the anchoring into the desire and the sorry, I find comes up the most to like really cut out the bite of how frightening it can be, But then once you do it,
and I feel like it also,
it gains more steam than the sorry.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
like there's another piece to it where I always find that, especially when it comes to money, when you're apologizing, it's because you're scared to be uncomfortable, or to let that moment be a little bit uncomfortable. And there's so much power in that moment being uncomfortable and allowing it to be what it is. And we find ourselves just kind of apologizing, and we do this a lot where we like almost like take back the thing that we just said by apologizing or saying I'm sorry, or just like kind of undercutting ourselves. So like that's what I want to eliminate. Like, don't undercut yourself. Don't say that you're less than. You are amazing. You are great. Come in there, own it, charge what you're worth. Like just own that really uncomfortable moment, and allow it to be uncomfortable.
Totally, because I think what happens when we apologize and when we say, oh, I didn't really mean that, is that actually our inner systems get confused. And then we get into all this confusing dialogue inside, and we don't even know, do I want that? Do I charge that? You know what I mean? Like it gets too confusing, and it's very simple. It's really just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's uncomfortable for way longer when you get caught in the other thing than to just sit with it. So I totally know what you're saying.
Yeah, even I love that you said in other areas of life, like not just money, but like in sex, in how you want to live, how you want to behave, if you want to dance in public, like just allowing yourself to feel real emotions and to identify what you really want and to state what you really want. I mean, I know that that's something that's like, I started practicing like radical honesty of like, in this moment, I'm just going to say exactly what I want to say and feel exactly how I want to feel. And if other people can't handle it, then that's on them, not on me.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of like a struggle sometimes. I know that, especially because I'm super vocal about what I want and how I want things. And that can be kind of off-putting to some people, because they just don't know how to deal with that, like in your face, like I know exactly what I want, and I know exactly how I want it, and I know exactly how I'm going to do it, or
But
even if
I was talking with a girlfriend yesterday about, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's just, it's how we practice whatever, like using our voice and expressing our desire and getting what we want everywhere. I was talking to her about men, and I had this like revelation in terms of exactly what you're saying about like asking for exactly what you want. That when I go to the steakhouse, I know I want the filet, like I want the filet thick, and I want it medium rare, and I want blue cheese on top, and I want all this shit on the side, and I want to drink it, I want this to drink with it. And like, if my waitress brings me a thin, rubbery, overcooked piece of steak, I send that shit back, like that's not what I ordered. It's the same thing, right? Like, but it gets like, we get more like kind of confused and personal about it. Like, oh, we start eating the steak and thinking like, well, maybe I shouldn't send it back or whatever. But like,
yeah, and it's funny that you say that.
Kind of simple way, because it's like, if I'm gonna pay like $36 for a fillet, I want a fillet,
Yeah. And I love that you think about it in that way, because it's something so kind of like basic. That's what you want, right? That's what you want in a restaurant. And some of us, I know I've seen this where like people order stuff in a restaurant and it's not what they wanted and they don't send it back. And I'm just like, fuck, like, oh, like this is what you wanted. And if it's completely not what you didn't get what you wanted, then say something, because otherwise you're just gonna sit there and eat shit and like be unhappy. So like, just say it. And if like, I was a waitress for many, many, many years. If you're not gonna be like, I want you to be happy with the service because I want that tip, right? If you're gonna sit there and eat crap and be upset, you're not gonna give me a good tip. So like, I will make you happy. You just got to tell me what you want. And I feel like it's just like that in everything else. Like, just say it.
I think there are underlying social ideas that like, and I don't know if this is within certain populations, or I don't really understand how this spreads out, but that it might be selfish to like really ask for what you want. And so I think like, if anyone's watching and like feels anything like that, that's also like, it's like, it's natural that we develop all of these kind of like ideas that we get to shed around, all this stuff. And what was I gonna say? But what I found in terms of like that would be greedy or that selfish, like the really powerful, I think, transformation there and like switch in perspective is actually like, the waitress is much happier when I'm happy, because she gets a tip and she wants me to be happy and I want her to be happy. And if we're like kind of collaborating on like this being a good experience where people are pleased, then it starts to lose the feel of like, this is selfish, and more like, oh, my desire being met actually makes whoever I'm with so much happier, because they essentially want my desire. They want me to feel fulfilled as well, and like, and so ultimately like people around us are happier when we're, able to speak what we want. And what comes up a lot around like not being able to articulate that you don't really want this thing, or this thing isn't the way that you want, is like resentment and anger, and so you can be quietly angry at the person when like articulating to them and having the ability to be specific around the desire, whether it's for the steak or like how you want to be touched in bed, or like how much you want to charge. It actually creates a situation where like both people can really win,
Yeah.
Which is what we want.
Exactly. I have this, I feel like I have this with my clients a lot, where I'm like, you got to be specific. You got to know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, then that's the first thing we have to tackle. right? We have to get down to like, what do you want to feel? How do you want it to feel? Like what is it that you're looking to do tomorrow? What is it how do you want your life to look in 6 months, in a year? What is it that you want to be doing? And don't give me like boilerplate answers. I want you to think about it, and I want it to be specific to you. Like what? Like let's get to that deep point, because it's only from that point where you articulate what you want and how you want it and how you want to achieve it, that you can actually make it there.
And when you're in bed and you can tell a partner what feels good, like fuck, you know, they love it.
Exactly. Like how much easier is it for both sides?
About pleasuring you, you know what I mean? Like it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
So all of those ideas that it's selfish or unkind are they're actually not true. Like they're the opposite of true. It's not kind to like shove your desires down and be angry at people.
Exactly.
That's not kind.
It's no, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think about it, like it's stressful, right? Like especially in a relationship, there's two people. You cannot read anyone's mind. No. And that's in it for everything. Like that's not just relationships, like personal relationships, that's working relationships, that's every kind of relationship that you have. You don't know both sides, you only know your side. So if both sides are just open and honest and vocal, it's so much easier to reach a point where both sides are happy than if you're trying to do it with imperfect information, right?
Totally. Yeah, I think like there's this fear again, like if I'm really real, if I'm really authentic, if I really share what I want, then this thing won't work out. When in fact, like, and this is the reason why when in fact, like, those are all of the things that will make it work. You know, it's not necessarily like every relationship is meant to be, but like if it's meant to be, it'll work when those things are operating well, you know?
Yeah. And I have gotten like resistance about that in relationships. And when that happens, I find that it's just really good to talk it out and be super honest and just say, you know, I am super vocal about what I want. And it's not because what you're doing is wrong. It's just, I'm telling you how to make it so much better.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to in, you know, in relationships, in your finances. Like I'm not going to tell you that what you want is wrong. I'm not going to tell you that how you're getting there is wrong necessarily. Let's just tweak it. Let's make it, let's improve it. Let's get it to the next level. And that's what I want to, you know, what I want to kind of do about not saying sorry. Like let's forget, like forgive yourself for all that stupid shit in the past. It's today and on. And like stop apologizing for like being you and having blue hair and a nose ring and like not wanting to be corporate, and just let's move forward and let's do it this way, the way that you want to do it, and not be, you know, held back by that need to like make everybody happy, because that makes nobody happy.
Totally. Yeah.
So I wanted to so if anybody has any questions, like feel free to post it here if you're watching now, if you're watching on the replay. We are here for you, and also we'll be, you know, comment, we'll answer any questions. And then Rebecca, tell everybody a little bit about what you have going on right now and how they can get in touch with you and continue this conversation.
Cool. Thank you. I have a lot going on right now. And basically, if my message, what I was sharing, feels resonant for you, if you are looking to really like clean your slate so that you can experience fulfillment in your sex and your money and career and relationships, and you're really ready to do the work around it, I am able to offer your audience, let me see how many calls I want to offer. I'm able to offer you a complimentary call where we can kind of explore right now what it is that you really, really want, and what wants to shift and transform in your life in order to make that happen. So what we can do is share a link to sign up for a complimentary call. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's awesome. It also to sign up for her mailing list. So don't forget that. I'll post
Cool.
the link. If you got my Money Monday email earlier today, so you already have it in that email, but we'll post it here as well. I'm so happy to have had Rebecca on. We met at an event a couple of weeks ago, like a month or two ago, and we just like clicked immediately. I gave her like a list of topics. She picked this topic and I was like, oh, this is perfect for you. And we're just going to do this. And we had, not sorry. And we had such a crazy day trying to make this work like logistically because of Facebook Live not allowing guests anymore, that it was just like, this is meant to be and it's going to happen no matter what. We're going to figure out how to make this happen. And we were a little late and we're not apologizing.
We're not sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to contact me, please reach out at galit@financialsharktras.com or through this Facebook page or on Instagram, on all of the things, all of the time. I'm here for you. I want to support you. And now Rebecca's here and she wants to support you too. So please reach out to her as well and figure out how you stop saying sorry. Have a good night. And thank you so much for coming on and making this happen.
Yeah, this was super fun. Thank you.
Hey.
Good night.
Good night.